Hey everyone, welcome back to Empire Build Academy. This is the Learn Evony in Minutes series and we are looking at the Forge. This is what the building looks like on mine. You may have it in a different place. When we jump into that and go into detail, your Forge allows you to craft equipment for your generals, upgrade your Forge to craft more and improved equipment. When we go across, you can see that we've got a few options to go through around here. I will try and do that as quick as possible. Starting off with the craft option, which we will go into first. And in here, you can see we've got a breakdown of all the different pieces of equipment that we can have. And you can see this in the tab at the bottom here. And if you work your way across, you will see you've got the helmet, you've got the armor, you've got leg armor, boots, ring, bow, spear, axe, sword. And then the last one is the staff piece as well, which you can see are relevant to different officers and not very commonly available within the equipment upgrades. Now, if we go across, let's start right back at the beginning, and then this time we are at the helmet. You get a breakdown here of what the name is. You also get a breakdown of the items that are required, including this one here, which is the scroll that is required for that particular equipment. So I have 35 scrolls that I could use to create 35 pieces of dragon helmet if I had enough of the different materials that are listed here as well. These also come with their buffs. This is just for crafting the piece, so this would be for no stars, and those would be the buffs that come with that. You also get set attributes as well, and those are the buffs that come with that for the different pieces of equipment that you have. So if you had 2 of the dragon set, you would get a gathering speed bonus of 15%. 4 would give you a 10% for monster attack and defense, and 6 out of 6 would give you an attacking troops attack of 10%. The equipment can be refined and get 4 types of random attributes. Refine is another buff that we can add to each piece of this equipment. Now, let's continue across the bottom. So again, you can see all the different dragon armors. Now, if we work our way across this here and just have a look at the different pieces, obviously going from blue, which is the worst equipment, all the way up via the different purples and the yellows. And one thing I will say straight away is that the red ones, the dragon and the Achmenidae armor, are actually quite easy to get hold of the longer you play the game. So as much as they will throw these yellow pieces at you and the orange pieces as well, they're something that you would definitely use very minimal in the longer term of the game, and it would definitely be these dragons and Achmenidae pieces of gear that you would be getting across all the different ones. So eventually what will happen is, and if I show you a general to give an example, and I go into one of my favorites, and this time let's have a look at Queen Boudica, who is the wall general. You can see that all these pieces of equipment are red. They are all up to 5-star at least, and that's what you can be expecting to do pretty soon in the game, if I'm being completely honest. Now let's go back to the Forge and let's go back into that craft. So the one thing to be aware of when you are doing this, as you can see here, this is the dragon ring. If I wanted to complete this set, I would need to be looking at getting all 6 pieces of the dragon set. So this would be the dragon ring, and then if we went to the boots, you can see then that we have the dragon boots there, the fearless and the courageous. It depends on which one you want, but both dragons would be able to complete the set, so you can mix the fearless dragon and the courageous dragon together to get the final set attributes that you have down there. Another thing to be aware of as well is the courageous and the fearless, and also making sure that you are getting the relevant buffs that you want. So you can see the difference here between the fearless and the courageous in terms of what they're actually offering. So this one is offering ground troop defense, enemy siege machine attack, enemy mounted troop attack, which is stopping and debuffing the opponent. And you will find a lot of people on their sub generals will have these particular pieces of equipment so that they can be debuffing the opponent when looking to attack. Okay, let's again go back to the generals, and this time let's have a look at a sub-general to show you what I mean. So Mark Antony, we will use him first, and you can see that I've got Parthian Axe on him, and if I was to go across, you would see that I have Parthian all the way down on the different ones. So all the way, you can see I've got Dominant Parthian and Majestic Parthian mixed up there, depending on what the buff is offering. And you can see again, just for this Parthian axe here, it's 48%. Now you may not have noticed Parthian, and that's because we need to go into the next option, which is the equipment upgrade. And when we go into there, you can see that we can make these different pieces. So we've got the Courageous Dragon, and then we've got the Achaemenid as well, that we can then turn into Courageous Ares boots. We can turn them into Dominant Parthian boots, and then the last one is Dominant Imperial boots as well. So that's what the upgrades you will get for those different things. And if you click on the individual weapon item, you can see Dominant Parthian boots would again come with those different buffs, including the debuff of the opponent's attack, which is why you will see a lot of people on their subordinate city generals will have the Parthian gear, which is an equipment upgrade from the original piece of equipment that you have crafted. Let's sum that up very, very quickly. If I wanted to craft a piece of equipment, I would click into craft. And if I wanted to craft a boot option, this is where I'd go. I would, like I say, normally be ignoring the yellow pieces or anything lower than that, because we are pretty much going to be getting and using the red pieces in the long term anyway. Obviously, if you were looking to just get an early buff at the beginning, this would make sense to do this. Let's just say I'm now playing the game long term, and I wanted to go to the Achaemenid because I wanted to debuff the Siege Machine attack as well as Mounted Troop attack as part of the set. I could look at that, or I could look at the other option as well, which is the Fearless, which is the enemy Siege Machine attack, which may be a better option depending on what you're looking to do. I think the enemy Siege Machine attack and enemy Mounted Troop attack is the one to go with. So you can see I come with all those different buffs. You can see I've got the different scrolls there to be able to do that. The only thing I don't have is the necessary pieces of material. Now, all I need to do is just to click into that. And if we go into compose, you can see that I've got plenty of options to be able to compose all. So if I was to compose all of these all the way up to the top, you would see that I have more than enough to go to the red pieces that were required. So now I've got plenty of pieces there. All I need to do is the same on the other ones as well. This time I will go quicker. That one is enough now. And then the last one that I need is this one here. And then once I compose that, you can now see that I have enough pieces to craft that particular piece of equipment. When you are ready to craft, you can see there is a timer on how long this will take to do. So this one will take 31 days. But we can reduce that 31 days by going to the monarch here in the top left corner, clicking onto that, and then making sure that you've got your piece over here set at crafting, which I will do now, 50%. Click on confirm. Obviously remember to switch back after you've done this. Go back into there, and you can now see that for those boots that I was looking at, that was 31 days, they are now reduced to 25 days, which is definitely a better option and worth using. And remembering to do that whenever you are doing anything, whether it's construction, research, troop training, crafting, remembering to change your monarch gear to be able to do that. So if I was to click begin, you can see that this is now underway, and I will speed this up for the purpose of this particular video. Finish all. You can now see that this option is highlighted to say that that piece of equipment is now ready, and it will give you a breakdown of all the different buffs that we was talking about that it comes with. Obviously this is only one piece, so I would need to craft the other ones as well to be able to make that the 6 pieces. So what we're going to do now is going to go and attach that piece of equipment to a general. So let's go and choose one that I haven't got anything attached to. Scroll all the way down to the bottom. Narcissus shouldn't have anything. They don't. Click on the boots, and then we can use that Fearless Achaemenid ones that I was talking about. And then you can also see then we've got the options to upgrade the star and refine as well. So if we go into upgrade star, you can see the buffs that will come with this. So as soon as we click on upgrade, you can see that those buffs are going up substantially until it reaches its final level. The next thing we can do with this piece of equipment is refine it as well. So we can go into here and then click on the refine option down here. Once you've done that, you can see then if you click refine, you will get all these different options that you can do to get additional buffs. But with the refining, I will do that as a separate video. It's just letting you know that that option is available via this method. Okay, the last thing that we want to talk about on this particular video is to jump straight back into there and show you 2 more options. Number 1 was the equipment upgrade, which is this one. Look for them boots that I was just talking about. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that piece of equipment off Narcissus, and the reason being is you can't upgrade the equipment while it's attached to someone. So I'm going to go in there, I'm going to go into here, and I'm going to remove that piece of item. Then I'm going to go back into the equipment upgrade. This time I'm going to go into the boots. You can now see that that option is now available for the one that I've just taken off. And again, I would need additional items to be able to upgrade this particular piece of equipment. But just to be aware, you do need this piece here, which is the Forge Master Certificate. So that was at this top piece here, and they are difficult to come by. Just to be aware, you don't want to go in and waste this particular certificate because they are hard to come by. And for that particular reason, I won't be updating via this method in this video. So it's just to show you what that equipment upgrade does. And then when we go back onto there as well, you can see the difference between the Achaemenidae and the Majestic Parthian, and it's quite substantial, and also makes a difference on the set attributes on the Achaemenidae versus the set attributes on the Majestic Parthian. So it's just making you aware of that as well. So the last thing I wanted to show you was a very quick tip which can help you in looking for the equipment that you actually need. So if we go into ranking, which is this one here in the middle, click onto that, and then this time we want to go into general ranking, click into there. You will then get a list of the top 100 generals with their equipment attached and the power of that general. So you can see, let's go further down and let's have a look at this one here. I'm just trying to think who hasn't got the full set of choreo. So this person doesn't. There you go. So there's the Majestic Parthian leg armor, and then you can see that this person has this attached. So that would be potentially in my head what I'm going to go ahead and build when looking to build my Queen Boudica with all the different pieces of equipment. I'd be using that ranking, that general ranking, as a guide to use for all of my different generals. So if I wanted to build an archer general with the correct equipment, I could go in there, see what people have built. It's just a great way to go in and do that. But I'm going to leave this particular video here. There is going to be a little bit more that I'll do on this in other videos, and probably go into a little bit more detail so you've got more information there. But just to try and break down the Forge and what its purpose is, that is what I'm going to leave it at. If you do have any questions, please do leave them in the comments. I'm sure there will be many people that will be happy to help, including myself. And I will see you in another video, Learn Evony in Minutes video, very soon. Thanks for watching.